welcome everyone to this call. We're really happy to have you here. This is one of the calls of the workbook that we are working on Fearless Woman. Every month we have one call on different topic, and this is really exciting. So I encourage you to subscribe to the channel as well, and stay tuned, and to stay tuned to the upcoming calls as well. So this is our Fearless Woman Becoming a Year of Transformation, a Lifestyle of Empowerment. This is like our main vision of Fearless Women. And this is the topic that we are going to discuss today: financial wellness and money management. And before delving into this topic, I would like to invite Christine and invite Juan Carlos as well to introduce themselves. So yes, feel free.
So I'm Christine Culligan. I'm one of the coaches, part of Fearless Women. I've been doing life coaching for about a year now. And I have a regular 9-to-5 job where I work in marketing, and I support a drug for small cell lung cancer. So I feel like my day-to-day job is very fulfilling, but I also want to do more and want to fulfill my purpose and help others. So I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity. So I live in St. Louis, Missouri, which is in the United States. And I was just saying before to this group that I live in a much colder climate with a lot of trees, nothing exciting, but it's been home for me. So I have 2 grown children, a boy and a girl, and I'm very happy to be part of this group. So thanks for the opportunity to introduce myself.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
So happy to have you. What about you, Juan Carlos?
So I'm Juan Carlos Murillo. People call me JC. I'm actually in the middle of a career change. So I've been working 30 years for the technology industry in Microsoft, in Ericsson, and other companies. I'm at this point following my passions: technology, investing, and financial education. So in parallel to my corporate job, for the past 20 years, I've been investing in disruptive technology. And what's interesting is, since I started working, I made it a habit to save as much as I could, and which is part of what we were talking about. So I am now trying to focus myself on sharing the knowledge, and I'm interested in pursuing a coaching career when it comes to financial coaching. And as a career change, I'm now doing asset management and real estate management. And I'm working with my wife, who is a life coach, to with her customers, sharing about financial wellness and sharing about how to manage our money and how to sort of practice the habits to make finances not be scary. And that's part of what we're here to talk.
Thank you very much. And as to me, so my name is Natalia. I was born in Argentina. Though I consider myself a traveler soul, I've been traveling for some years until I decided to settle down here in Spain and become a coach as well. And I am the enthusiastic coach, and I work with women who wants to align their personal and professional life with their true essence, so they can live with joy and filled with peace as well. And we also have Erendira. So welcome, Erendira, who is part of the audience today. We wanted to say hi, and also to the other people who might be watching this in the future. Feel free to comment, or maybe tomorrow. Feel free to comment any questions on the chat, and Dennis is going to answer to your questions tomorrow, or the day that it's going to be played. So let's talk about this topic. So sorry. So
So
we're
basically
about,
it's
yes,
three topics. Yeah, just
yes,
about
bef-
wellness, about
yeah,
money and wealth, and about financial wellness. So it's going to be very succinct, and we're so thrilled to have JC be able to present this topic today for us.
Thank you.
So we are going to discuss financial wellness and money management. And before even like delving into this, we want to also mention that within this, like there are these concepts that we want to talk upon, which is wellness. Okay, what is wellness in general? And understanding that beyond wellness, there is a lot of different aspects on life, as to, for example, the well-being, and understanding as well relationships that we have, also like the work and life balance, the healthy aspect. So beyond like wellness, we should understand that this is like a broad concept, that it doesn't only understands and includes the money aspect, but also other aspects. And what do you think about money and wealth, the difference that you can find about money and wealth? Christine or Juan Carlos, feel free to comment on this.
Well, I think that wealth is a state of mind, sometimes not necessarily a tangible dollar amount, because there are some monks that live with nothing, but they are the wealthiest people on the planet because they have abundance in their life, and their mindset is one of abundance and living to their fullest, even if they don't have a tangible thing. So money is very important. As we know, it pays our bills, right? And it takes care of things that we need. If we have a family, it feeds our children and puts a roof over our head. And it also prepares us for our older years when we're not necessarily working. So it takes a lot of intelligence and thoughtfulness to prepare for your future. But again, wealth could be defined by many people as something completely different from the next person. So I would think it's what wealth means to you.
Right, beautiful said.
I agree, and it is, wealth is definitely not about money. It's about what we have that allows us to live sort of a healthy life from a lot of perspectives, including mental health, no stress, be able to manage our day-to-day, and it's part of the why we practice wellness. It's to be able to be wealthy in the sense of be complete and feel happy and not have anything that throws us off our balance.
Yes.
Thank you. So remembering that it's not only about money, but it's much bigger than that the difference between money and wealth, right? And what about financial wellness? What do you guys think about financial wellness? Juan Carlos?
So if we practice wellness, which is it has more to do with our habits. One of the pillars of wellness is financial wellness. So we need to look at ourselves as a whole, like a complete entity, and we cannot practice wellness without actually taking care of things that are usually scary, which is our finances, are usually very personal, which is, it's not the same case for me than anybody else. Mm-hmm. So financial wellness is a practice of making sure that we have the right habits and that we can live within our means, and we are able to plan for today and plan for the future, so that we do not sort of put at risk our overall wellness because of one aspect of our life, which is the financial one.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So before, delving into the topic itself, we wanted to make sure that these three things were clarified, that wellness is like a broad concept that we should find our unique concept of wellness, taking into consideration relationships, the work and life balance, the health, the mental health as well, and then the difference between money and wealth, right? That we can be wealthy and not necessarily only talking about money. And financial wellness is one aspect of wellness itself, right? So now we're going to delve into financial wellness. And there are mainly two different aspects that we want to talk about, which are the intangible aspects and the tangible aspects. So a lot of the time, many times we talk about only like the strategic part of money management and financial wellness, and not that much about these intangible aspects, right? Which are related to creating mainly a healthy, abundant mindset, right? So how do we create a healthy, abundant mindset? So first of all, I think what is important and what I have learned as well in my personal journey is to understand which are our beliefs related to money, right? To start reflecting on, okay, what do I believe about money? How do I conceive money? Which experiences did I have related to money? What were my upbringings when I was a kid related to money? For example, in my case, there was a lot of scarcity, like even like with my grandparents, there was a lot of scarcity when they were born and they were raised. So that was ingrained as well in my story. So realizing about this is like really important as well for bringing awareness to this, and like from that point, changing our beliefs about money as well, right? So awareness to our beliefs related to money, then we connecting with gratitude, which basically is like being grateful for everything that we already have. Like a lot of time we focus on the things that we haven't achieved, or the things that we don't have at the present moment, and we forget about the things that we do have. So connecting with gratitude, being grateful for everything that we already have, is also an important element when I'm thinking about creating this healthy, abundant mindset. Positive visualization, it's also about envisioning ourselves already being there, that in that moment of we have achieved what we wanted, right? And I connect this as well with meditations, and it can be done through meditations as well, like connecting with the present moment and visualizing yourself as well, already reaching that what you want. Affirmations, probably you've heard about affirmations as well. There are a lot of affirmations that you can look for, and there are some already that you can have a look at in the workbook that you will receive. Affirmations related to changing your limiting beliefs around money, that would be one, for example, like money is healthy, money, or also like I'm abundant. There are a lot of different affirmations that can be created, and it's really powerful when you create an affirmation that is changing the belief that you have related to money, right? Focus on possibilities, which means instead of like seeing challenges as like blocks or something negative, focusing on realizing that challenges are opportunities to keep on growing, right? For example, when it comes to a new job, for example, or if you are working on a specific job and you feel that you can get promoted, maybe that could be something challenging to ask for a promotion, but focus us on something that it can be an opportunity to grow, like actually asking for that promotion, or yes, and having that promotion already as well. Financial education is about like keep on learning about how to healthy your abundant mindset, sorry, and also about financial education in general. And we are going to touch upon this with Juan Carlos as well, so you will be already learning a little bit more. Generosity and giving. So it's like a practice that we can do on daily basis, is to be generous and be giving. This is something that also really helps when creating a healthy, abundant mindset, because you are giving and it's coming from a place that you are already abundant. That's why you are generous and giving. You are recognizing that's the message that you are giving to the subconscious. Is like you are already abundant, so you can give and you can be generous. Surround yourself with abundance. So it's can be like with communities, with people, with mentors that can propel your growth, and keep on taking inspired action to keep moving to your goals and to this place that you would like to be, right? When it comes to being abundant, and when it comes to your unique concept of wellness as well. So that was like something really broad, and that were the main things that we wanted to talk. What do you think, Christine or Juan Carlos? Would you like to comment on something else related to this?
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly just highlight what you're saying and add on top of that about an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. And a lot of it, like you said before, Nati, is a lot of times it's just from our limiting beliefs from childhood, from our faith, from our cultures. It tells us that, you know, money is evil or money is bad or I'll never have enough money. So there's so many things that we take with us and we live with when we don't necessarily need to, right? So if we can consider the difference between an abundance mindset and a scarcity mindset, I can just kind of cover that really quickly. Having an abundance mindset means that you believe that there's enough for everyone, right? So not only is there enough and wealth for you and balance in your life, but there's enough for you to be able to give, like you said, generosity and giving. And so money can come easily to you, and you can also give easily. A scarcity mindset is just the opposite of that, right? It's that we believe these lies about money, that it's evil, or it's hard to make, or I have to work harder than anybody else to ever be successful. But here's something that I think about. I look at nature. If you think about nature, there's abundance everywhere. Do we just have one blade of grass on our lawn? No, we have millions of blades of grass. There's not just one leaf on a tree. There's millions of leaves on a tree. Nature is nothing except abundance. Nature doesn't live in scarcity. Nature lives in full abundance. So if we have that mindset, I believe that we can approach that with everything in our life, because abundance is an energy just as much as any other energy that we expend in life. So if we can approach it that way, I would love to encourage everyone that watches this to approach this presentation with complete optimism and hope, and put away any of the past mindsets that you've had before about being worthy of having abundance and having financial success, and approach this as what a gift that you're going to have the opportunity to learn today, and have an optimistic mindset that today you're going to learn some great things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So yes, that's this intangible aspect is mainly about recognizing that we can already start creating, like reconnecting to our abundance, because we are by nature abundant, as Christine said. We are abundant, but what we start is like throughout the years we start creating limiting beliefs, fears around our life in general, and that kind of we separate from that abundance, right? So it's like start connecting with a lot of patience as well. This is not something that it's going to be 100% created from one day to another one, but start creating and putting into practice this, and you will start to see like the difference for sure. So now we're going to step into the tangible strategies and aspects, and Juan Carlos is going to talk about this financial stability plan, so the short and long-term strategies when it comes to financial wellness and money management.
Okay. And by the way, I think Lorena had a question on the chat. So
Oh, yes.
just
Okay,
if you
great.
guys can address it.
Thank
Yes.
you, thank you. I was just wondering if we could ask questions as we go, if we are just observing today, just in case. And I just wanted to say for the intangible part of wealth, that it really resonated with me. I grew up with a scarcity mindset. Money doesn't grow on trees, and my mom, had to work really hard for money, so I associated basically with torture. So it's rather better not having money and having a mom than having a mom with money and that is not around, right? So it took me a long time, but as I get better, I feel like what gives me more joy and what makes me feel and trust in the universe and the fact that, if you do your best, the universe is going to provide is giving. I find that the more you give, the more you get. And the more you give, when you give from your heart and you're just not scared that it's not going to be enough for you, I don't know what to tell you, but the universe always takes care of you. So I just wanted to mention that. And thank you so much for putting this together.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for sharing, for sure.
So I'm going to build on two of the last concepts that you mentioned, Nati. So when it comes to the tangibles, it is all about patience and practice. And then, as per Lorena's comment, you give and you get. And when you get, what I'm going to be talking about is what to do when you get, or when you're able to have some income or have some tangible money out of so that we are able to manage our finances. So it's basically two principles, and it all starts with defining your finance goals. One of the things that you'll see on the workbook, it's about having a plan, a financial stability plan. That's how I see it. And there's two sides of the coin. One is, how do I manage the short term? How do I manage my what I call financial freedom today? And how do I manage my financial freedom in the future, tomorrow? So for the short term, to be able to manage my short-term finances, meaning it is important that we budget, that we save, so that we can have some liquidity. And what I mean is, budgeting is sometimes a scary word, and it's something that we when we hear about it, when we see people talking about it, it might be uncomfortable. But it's as simple as understanding how much you earn and how much you spend. And the idea here is to live within your means. So the idea is to try to either spend only what you earn, or my preferred path is to save more than what you spend, or have enough to be able to save. And that takes care of the future, but what we're going to be discussing. So it's about budgeting. Within your budget, it's about also considering having a savings plan. So being able to put money aside, and I'll tell you where would that money go. So once you have your budget and you're able to make some space for saving a little bit, put it on the side. The idea is, and remember that we're talking about financial stability, we're talking about practices of wellness. So I want to be able to save enough to initially have an emergency fund. And that is as sort of a savings account, if we put a name to it, that has enough for us to like cover 3 to 6 months of our expenses. And this would like help us take care of emergency situations, take care of a job loss, And when we have an emergency fund and we are certain that we can handle our day-to-day expenses for 3 to 6 months, and the 3 to 6 months depend on how soon we know that we are going to resolve this or get another job or do something to start receiving income again, right? So once we have the emergency fund, that's a check. What happens is we will feel better. We will feel better with a lot of decisions we make. We will feel better with being able to live comfortably, doing what we like, without the concern of what if something happens. So we budget, we save money, we put away some of that money for the emergency fund. Next, we have to take care of 2 more things. Have a plan, which is something that Nati mentioned initially, about our income growth. Be able to have a plan through career growth or career development or through a parallel business pursuit, today called like a side gig. Be able to have a plan to grow our income. And as we grow our income, we're able to save more and we're able to take care of other elements of our plan. So income growth is a key part. Then once we generate, we need to make sure that nothing sort of puts that at risk. So another aspect of short-term money management or finance management is managing our debt, the things we owe. And there's good debt and bad debt. So good debt is probably sometimes a mortgage that's going to help us buy a house that will be part of our net worth, or our in Spanish we call it patrimonio, which is our sort of the assets that we will have to support our life. So that's good debt. So unless I have a mortgage that the interest is outrageous and I have trouble paying for it, usually a mortgage is positive. It's a long-term objective. But bad debt is probably high debt credit card. So if within our budget we have a lot of money that we owe on a credit card, part of the savings need to go towards paying for that credit card or high interest debt first. So my suggestion would be you build a budget, you save for the emergency fund, but if you have high debt, save to pay that first, and then save for the emergency fund, because sometimes, depending on the country you live in, the interest on a credit card can be anywhere from 9% to 40 or to 80%. And owing a lot of money on a credit card basically throws every wellness practice that you can do around yourself. It is going to create significant stress. So we budget, we create a fund, we eliminate debt, we have a plan to grow income. We do need to consider, and this is the last of the scary part, we need to consider protecting also our assets. So if we are saving money, if we are building plans for the future, we need to have something that also protects us from risks, mitigate risks. So I mean insurance. Health insurance, usually provided by work, but if not, we need to make sure that we have health insurance. And depending on our personal situation, if we have kids, if we have a partner, if we have sort of a mortgage, we also need to consider life insurance and things that can protect us from actually having to tap into our long-term funds or into our savings in case of something bad or unforeseen happens. So that's managing short-term finances. That means I budget, I save, and I have some risk assurances that if things come in that I wasn't expecting, I'm able to navigate through them, okay? So then we go into what we do for the future sort of financial freedom or future stability. And that's what we call the managed long-term finances. So we are saving, and we have to invest those savings to grow. So in managing long-term finances, the important elements here is to be able to start thinking about retirement. So even if we're 20 years old, 30, 40, 50, we want to make sure that we are able to have financial support in the future. If we want to retire early, or if we want to retire at 60 or at 70. And today, I have mentioned this before, today retirement does not mean I'm going to stop working, because also working for many of us is part of our healthy life. But it means that I can actually start doing something that I love, which might not bring enough money that I was used to working a corporate job, for example. But I want to start doing carpentry, or I want to start doing painting, or and be able to plan for the future and sort of save for the future will allow me to at some point do something that I wanted to pursue without the pressure of having to deal with my short-term finances in the future, right? So once we have, like when we budget and we save, once we have saved for the emergency fund, once we are out of our high interest debts, we need to start putting money away for retirement. And that is the earlier we start, the better. And the nice thing about saving for retirement is we don't need it today. We can have a horizon of 20 years, 30 years. And the wonderful thing about finances is that time and what we call compound interest can do wonders for our savings long term. So we can put money away and we can constantly save. And within 20 or 30 years, we will be amazed at how much that money can grow. And in the internet, there's a lot of tools, if you want to know more about it, about compound interest, where you can calculate what happens if you save today something and you add, I don't know, $200 every month, and you let it gain interest in the bank for the next 30 years. And it's amazing. So that's the long time horizon, that's the retirement fund. Once we are comfortable saving for retirement, we can also separate or open, and let me put a small bit of info here. So eventually throughout the years, we would expect to possibly earn more income. So if today we cannot save for retirement and like emergency fund and retirement and something else, eventually we will be able to. So we will be able to manage our short term, save for retirement, and save for other things. So it's just about time and having that income growth plan. So once we're comfortable funding our retirement, we can also start thinking about funding something in the midterm. So what I call a big purchase, be that if you want to save for buying a house so that you can stop paying rent, or you can save for buying an investment property so you can start collecting rent, or even save for the big vacation that you've always wanted as part of a life experience that you want to have. So that what I call the big purchase fund can be sort of saved in parallel as the retirement fund, but the horizon is shorter. So the retirement fund might be a few decades of time horizon, and the big purchase fund might be just a few years of saving. Now, what do I do with those funds? We invest, and that's where compound interest comes in. So if we allocate our saved funds into investment mechanism, and there's several, the workbook mentions stocks, mutual funds. There's a lot of mechanisms that we use. Here's where having some financial literacy plays very well, or seeking help from a financial coach or an advisor. It's going to go a long way into understanding where to place our money. The interesting thing here is we need to make sure that we invest our money thinking about the horizon and the risk, the risk level that we're willing to accept for that money. And why do I say this? The emergency fund should be liquid. I should be able to access it within a few days, or maybe up to 30 days. If I lose a job or if I have an emergency, I can probably charge it on the card, but within 20 days, I will need to pay for it. So I can invest it in an instrument that allows me to grow that, but also have liquidity and be able to turn it into cash so that I can pay for what I need soon. My long-term investment retirement fund, in the US, there's a lot of mechanisms for that, but that allows me to be more I can accept more risk into it because it's long-term. And just as an example, if I invest in the stock market, in an index, the Standard & Poor's index, it is well known that throughout the years, I'm able to grow that money 10% each year. This year, the stock market could give us 20% gain. Next year, it can give us -15. But it is proven that throughout the years on a long-term horizon, it has always gone up. So I don't want to need to take that money out when the market is down. And that's why long-term, I will put money into a stock market, for example, if I'm not going to use it in many years, because that way I'm able to see it grow and not risk needing that money when the market is not in its best year. So with that, just to wrap up, managing short-term finances allows us to take care of financial freedom today, which is basically being comfortable with managing our bill, paying our debts, and handling unexpected emergencies. And here it's important, and depending on where you live is a mechanism, it is important to pay yourself first, and I call it pay your future self first, and then pay your bills, and then spend the rest in whatever you want. We have mechanisms like when we work for a company, sometimes they're able to deduct something for savings in each paycheck so that you don't see it in your bank. It goes directly to an investment. And that's why I mean pay yourself first. Or if you're if you have the good habit, the moment that the money comes into your account, separate something for saving. Because what happens if you don't do that first, you tend to pay the bills first, spend it on things you want next, and then you have nothing to save. So that's part of making sure that you're able to address financial freedom today. And financial freedom in the future is be able to have a plan for long-term and execute on that plan. On both, it's basically, as I say, rinse and repeat. So it's never going to be perfect. You have to always be able to come back, see what's working well, see what's not, and really find the plan, and then continue on. So it is not something that you define today and never touch. You should always come back and see what you're doing on the short term well and what you're doing on long term well, adjust and continue. And that, sort of to wrap up, that's going to enable you to manage your finances as part of a wellness practice that helps you manage your emotions, your stress, give you some peace of mind and security. So it's sort of the contrast of the tangible versus the intangible, but associated with not having finances be a stress within your wellness plan.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Juan Carlos. That was wonderful. And I love the way that you wrap it up, because you mentioned is like, yeah, there is a lot of concepts and strategies and tools here, but it's mainly about managing that stress or preventing that stress, right? So we can live like in peace and not being concerned about if we'll be able to pay our bills or manage our debt. So I loved how you wrapped it up. And I feel that it's all about that, right? It's like, it's not about like having money, but it's like about finding this wellness concept and aligning to our unique wellness concept, right? So we can live in peace, basically.
And it's very personal. So
Yes.
it is different for everybody. And also we shouldn't be, there's always like a taboo. We don't want to talk about it with other people. And in reality, we need to learn. We need to be able to, I don't know, read books, participate in workshops, be able to discuss among friends. It shouldn't be a taboo. And that's going to help you also be more comfortable with the topic, because sometimes it's an uncomfortable topic, and it shouldn't be. It should not be scary.
Yes, for sure. And if it is uncomfortable, it's an opportunity to grow, right? It is like, okay,
Yes.
why is this uncomfortable? And learning about this, about what is behind this uncomfort, right? So if it feels like that, we should keep on like working and talking about this. We will be already creating this healthy and abundant mindset, because we acknowledge that there is uncomfort on this, but we still want to unravel what's behind this, right? And we talk about it and we reflect about it.
Yeah, and if it's a topic of fear, as part of our personal growth, you just have to plow through it and address it and face it and step ahead.
Yes. Beautiful. So now, yes, time for conclusion. So mainly this call, it was about financial wellness and management. And it's about finding this unique concept and definition of wellness, because it's really subjective. So we encourage you to find your definition around this concept, and then take into consideration the intangible aspects of building this healthy, abundant mindset, and also the tangible aspects about financial wellness and managing money. And I don't know if Juan Carlos or Christine, would you like to add something else, or we can open some minutes for questions or sharings?
So I have a comment. The workbook has some references to internet articles, which are totally useful. There is a lot of information, and I think the best thing one can do is get interested, read on it, but also nowadays, sadly, there's also a lot of misinformation. So when you read something that scares you because it addresses something negative about what you have or what you're invested on, or the savings you have, try to find other sources, because you will usually find several views of the same topic, positive, negative, and neutral. And the idea, honestly, when it comes to finances, is to make an educated guess out of the different points of view. So if I can tell you, one of my main objectives when it comes to financial education is have my customers be able to have enough knowledge so they can make an educated guess. I don't want anybody to follow my suggestion. I want people to be able to get information and be able to make a decision when it comes to the personal finances based on sort of an educated guess based on the different approaches and suggestions that they will encounter.
Beautiful. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for so much, Juan Carlos, for adding that. That yes, it's really important, like to get curious, right? To get curious about the topics and to keep on researching and reflecting on what works and what it doesn't work to ourselves, right?
And I was going to share something really quick. It's just from my own personal experience. I believe that I overcame the fear of money and changed my mindset. However, every once in a while, it likes to creep back in. So you have to remind yourself over and over again, no, I've changed how I view this. Abundance is an energy. And it's just reminding yourself, and don't allow yourself to get afraid. Don't allow yourself to get paralyzed, because I know for myself, when I don't understand something or I'm afraid of something, I get paralyzed and I do nothing. That's probably one of the worst things you can do. So continuous movement, even if you're trying to just remind yourself of, wait a minute, I overcame this, I'm going to keep going. Even if there's those little tiny 1% steps, keep going. Don't get discouraged. Find somebody that you can be around to encourage you, and find a resource like Juan Carlos was saying. Make sure that you're educated correctly. If you see a perspective that makes you frightened, find another perspective and educate yourself and tell yourself over and over again, I can do this. This is part of my purpose. This is part of my future. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to change my mindset. I am abundant. I'm abundance. I'm abundant. I mean, do whatever you can to make yourself feel better, because that's what we're called to do, is to have that mindset of, my life is good. And yes, we have disappointments. We have, things that pull us back, but life is meant to be lived with purpose and with happiness and with optimism. So this is a piece of it, right? This is just a piece of all the things that we're called to have a life of abundance. So I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to hear this, JC. Thank you for this as well. And I'll stop talking and we can open it up to other people that have comments or questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christine. Yes, I can relate to that for sure. It's like, in my case, it was, I also had a really scarcity mindset. And I've been working on it like for many years. And also what I want to share is like to be compassionate as well with ourselves, because what happens is that basically is like we have these experiences or upbringings that lead us to having this scarcity mindset, and that creates a pattern of thinking, right? And it's like deeply ingrained in us. So it's like it's normal, it's like if we find ourselves again, it's like thinking that again, like that belief, like limiting belief again. So yes, that happens to me as well. And it's like about like bringing awareness again, like to the present moment, and realizing, okay, yes, I understand where is this coming from, but now I realize that this is no longer true, and choosing a different path instead. Yeah. So I'm going to stop the recording now and open the mic or the chat. If you want to ask any questions or share your stories, you're free to do it. This is not longer going to be recorded.